And here we will be giving you what you've been missing in the entertainment industry.
We will be hosting different guests, upcoming artists, as well as your favorite entertainers.
To motivate you, the youth, we will be bringing you youthful entrepreneurs who have made it in life.
Politically, you are in the right place. We will be bringing you the already established politicians. And to upcoming politicians, this is where your political career will be nurtured. Live only on LTV Kenya, the home of the best.
Indeed, LTV Kenya is home of the best.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us from wherever you are. This is LTV Kenya, and remember, you can follow us on Facebook, and our page is LTV Kenya, and on YouTube, LTV Kenya 1, Instagram, LTV Kenya /1. You can send your messages so that at least we get to on board with you and the questions that you are asking. Today, just last week, the BBI report from the task force was launched at Bomas of Kenya, Nairobi, by His Excellency Right Honorable President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and the former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga. A report that made the interest from each and every sides of the political arena, and even in the economy, common wananchi, and even in religion. That is why today the LTV fraternity decided to bring guests so that at least we can share and put all these things on a limelight. With me, we have got Mheshimiwa Augustine Mwise, who is also a member of County Assembly in Timaru Eastward. We have Zilpa Odlin, aspirants for Women's Senate in coming 2022. We also have Elisha Opio, youth advocate in Migori County. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for honoring your invitation and coming so that at least we share these things. Now, just to start, what is the roadmap for referendum? The BBI report was launched. What next after that? Let's start with you, Mheshimiwa.
Well, basically, once the launch is done,
yes,
we expect that the public should be able to have the document, read, understand, and make a decision on that.
Yes.
Because the report has it's twofold report.
Yes.
There is a fall for National Assembly, whereby a number of bills are expected to be passed in the National Assembly. Then other policies are going to be made out of the same. There's another part where now we are going to make decisions on serious proposals on constitutional change amendments. So therefore the public must be able to read and understand.
Yes.
And you also know that in the Constitution, there's a provision, and it's actually a requirement, that every public entity or every decision that's going to be made by the government,
yes,
the public must participate.
Thank you very much. Mheshimiwa, what is your idea on the same?
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa Zilpa. On addition to that, I think people should be given time to read, and they should go through the BBI.
Yes.
So we should not only just rely on Baba has read it, people are saying if Raila has read it, then there is no way we can read it.
Yes.
I would advise everybody to go through the BBI so that we understand it better.
Yes.
Because it's ours, and we should feel involved in it through all the views that we are going to give as a wananchi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Youth, now what is your message towards the youth in terms of the next thing after the launch of the BBI report?
Thank you very much. I think most importantly, as young people,
Yes.
We have been talking about us having the numbers and us really influencing whoever the leader will have coming in next.
Yes.
I think this should be the right time for us to use the information that we have. Let us read the document.
Yes.
Let us help the elderly who maybe are not able to read and even understand the document. Let us help them understand. Let us support with civic education so that
Yes.
all of us understand it together, and that so that we are able to make the right decision at the end of it.
Yes. During the time that the new constitution that was in 2010 was being, let me say, advocated for, Kenyans and everybody were always there that thinking that maybe there will be changes that will happen. And then after the 2010 the constitution was now brought on board, and then we started practicing it. We saw what do you call it, counties and stuff like that. We still experience the same problems. We have a high number of corruption cases. What is it next? Do you think that after this amendment, are we going to be on another page, or we're just going to continue with the same page since 2010? Let's start with you.
Well, the issue of corruption,
Yes.
I don't think it's about whether we have a new constitution or we have the BBI go through or nothing like that, or something like that.
Yes.
The issue of corruption, first of all, is about the values of the nation.
Yes.
That's why if you look at the BBI report,
Yes.
there is a whole chapter that is dealing with values, national values. So that from the word go, even our children, we can start instilling positive values in terms of what we want to see in our nation or our population going forward.
Yes.
Look like. What is the vision of the Republic of Kenya 50 years from now, 100 years from now? So that we don't just do something and say, oh, someone is watching or looking after me.
Yes.
It is an issue of instilling sustainable measures that each one of us, either with conscience or responsibility or law, just like Israel is. No, Israel, they don't have a constitution.
True.
It is up to you to know that this is wrong or this is right.
Yes.
And I think that is where we are heading to.
Yes.
So, but again, you've got to look into how are our institutions working.
True.
I have a problem with our judiciary. If you look at the BBI proposals,
Yes.
there is a way they are bringing in the office of the ombudsman,
Yes, ombudsman.
who is going to be appointed by the executive.
Yes. Yes.
But now they are calling this person or this office as independent.
Independent. Yes.
Now, if you read history and if you lived during the time of Moi era, you will realize that the issue of independence of our institutions,
Yes.
as provided for in the current constitution,
Yes.
it is not going to work well with us.
Yes.
All right? Because the moment the executive is the one that appoints the head of the ombudsman,
Yes.
and sits in the Judicial Service
Yes.
Commission,
Yes.
then it's directive-based approach. So we may not actually realize justice.
Yes.
We may not have that level of independency.
Yes.
And remember the national anthem, what is telling us? Justice may be
Our shield
and defender. So in that basis, I want to say that the BBI, in my opinion,
Yes.
has not addressed the issue of corruption properly.
Yes.
By simply capping or introducing that particular provision
Yes.
in the law. It's actually going to be in the constitution.
Yes. Mheshimiwa, do you support what Honorable Member of Court Assembly is saying about independence and maybe the BBI not addressing well the issues of corruption in Kenya now?
Okay, if I add on what Mheshimiwa has said,
Yes.
as he has said about the executive electing or appointing the ombudsman,
Yes.
it's not going to work as an independent body because it's like they are going to be directed by the executive.
Yes.
But they should run parallel.
Yes.
The judiciary should not run at the same line with the executive.
Executive, yes.
So once it's being elected by executive, then he or she must abide by the rules of the boss.
Yes.
Whoever person who appointed the ombudsman. Then again, if we had on corruption issue, I think we should have looked at it on a different way because it's something just the same way Mheshimiwa have said that we should instill it into the current generation, and that is what will be done, and they'll carry it forward for the future.
Yes.
Because if we check on it, it's something which has been there all along.
Yes.
But with the BBI, the way they are saying it, that if the ombudsman has been appointed by the executive, then you won't get the right thing from them.
Alicia, do you think the BBI has got the interest of the country at heart? Because now we're talking about independency, and then it's like we're getting back to the version of the reign of President Moi, because now we are not independent. If the executive appoints the ombudsman, what do you think the BBI has for the common man in terms of independence in the institutions?
Yeah, I think I really want to support what my two colleagues have just said.
Yes.
And if of course the president or the executive will be having hands in coming up with the ombudsman's office,
yes,
then definitely the ombudsman the hands will be tied,
yes,
and they will not be able to make independent decisions.
Yes.
But most importantly, I think we should be looking at how to save our nation.
Yes.
And it's true that when we leave it for few individuals, then it's going to be very difficult.
Yes.
We had the new constitution. Right now we are coming up with the BBI. And even from the new constitution, we've not fully achieved some of the things we are looking at, corruption being one of them.
Yes.
And so I think what I would advise us as leaders and even other fellow Kenyans,
yes,
is that how do we work towards bringing these changes from individual level?
Yes.
Before we start crying for the persons who are in higher leadership levels, what am I doing as an individual? Because yes, there's corruption at maybe the higher offices.
Yes.
What is it at maybe today we are here in Rongo, the leadership here in Rongo? What are they doing? Are we also corrupt? So I'm looking at if you want to really see the right change that you want for this nation,
yes,
then a few individuals who really have it right should start practicing it on their own.
So you're trying to say in short that corruption now is something that is being developed from the downer level?
I'll tell you that I think corruption is everywhere.
Okay.
And even from our children, the ones who are just coming up, they know that, if you don't give me something,
yes,
if you are vying for any political position,
yes,
then definitely you are a failure.
Yes.
And that is not the case. That is corruption.
Yes.
So I think the values as mentioned by the Mheshimiwa here, we should start instilling them in our children,
yes,
and they should be seen on ourselves before we point fingers to the leaders.
Mheshimiwa Zipa, yes.
Okay, just as the same thing you've said, that this thing, it starts from us. You as a parent, for example, when you take your baby to kindergarten, when you are leaving that child at the gate, you will tell him, Daddy or Mommy, just leave, I'll bring you sweet.
Yes.
You know, with that you are instilling the corruption in that mind, in that child's mind. So we should start with us. What are you doing as an individual?
Yes.
You need to be out of that corruption by being an example to the rest. So if we do it that way, that one will do away with corruption. But let's not depend on BBI that if it goes through, then corruption will not be there.
Yes.
It is us who is supposed to leave it. Because we see many people have not even read the BBI. So there's nothing they can do about it.
Yes.
That's why we were urging at the first that let everybody read it. And through that we will help as people of the country.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, maybe I can also tell you something.
Okay.
That I have read that section of corruption.
Yes.
The proposals that the report is putting across are very good. But something that I've not seen there is, for example, now there's a provision they're saying a state officer or a public officer should not do business with the government.
True, yes.
Okay? It is actually the way it is right now. It is actually properly, in short, it is just as it is. So, but what I wanted to see is that what if I used proxies to do business with the government?
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
What if I use proxies? Now, there are many other proposals that are there in relation to corruption.
Yes.
But I would like to see also a situation where you are not only holding the officer on the top accountable, but you give us a measure that is leading into getting everybody who was involved from the word go, including if it's an issue of procurement.
Yes.
The person who requested for that service. and the targets that were put, the person who procured, the person who paid, the person who received, and even the way the top head has either made efforts to ensure that that is capped or not capped.
Yes.
So if we can, because it's an improvement of clearing a problem that has been consistent in our nation, right?
True.
And let me tell you, corruption is the one that is affecting everybody across the board.
Yes.
If we have very good policies in the Republic of Kenya, very good. If you talk of youth policies, if you talk of women issues, if you talk about farmers and so forth and so forth.
Yes.
But if you saw yesterday, there was a case of the Gulalu farm.
Yes.
How many billions of shillings were put there? And how much yield have we got from the same?
Yes.
I actually happened to go to Israel sometimes back actually to do some studies. I visited one of the organizations that was employed or contracted to do that business in Kenya.
Okay.
It's one of the kibbutz.
Yes.
Israel is what we call the kibbutz, the ujamaa issue. For example, in Tanzania, here we have ujamaa.
Okay,
so in Israel, they have that arrangement. So one of the kibbutz was contracted to do farming in Kenya to undertake that project of Gulalu something. Let me show you. If it is me, given that money, for example, as Moise, given 1 million, to actually transform that figure into reality, I would achieve. You can see it very clearly that that was just public money that went into West.
Yes.
And now, current status of that project is the current allocation, national budget allocation, is less than 100 million.
Yes.
And we were talking about billions and billions and billions of shillings.
Actually.
We have not realized anything out of the target that we had been given. Only 10,000 hectares have been achieved, produced. And we were short of the target because across the country the estimation is 18 bags per acre, okay? But here we are saying in the current test case it is only 17 bags of maize, for example, per hectare, per acre. So we still fell short of what our current farmers are doing without that technology.
Yes.
But in Israel, which is a hard area, a desert area,
it's a desert
they are achieving and even exporting some goods. It's a desert area. So what happened? What went wrong in the Republic of Kenya? Kenya, where we have actually all-weather climate throughout the year. Are you seeing what I'm saying? So corruption has denied us so many opportunities. The other day I saw the president talk about the youth. The situation in which the youth are, it's like we are sitting on a time bomb.
Yeah, true.
If we do not handle it carefully.
Yes.
But look, if that project went through properly, how many youth would be employed out of that? So many youth. So corruption should not be looked into just like this.
Yes.
It is a cancer that has developed in the Republic of Kenya. It is eating children. It is eating the youth. It is eating the working force, very active working force. It is eating the elderly, and it's actually eating the transitioned working force, which is the pensioned.
Elisa, do you think that the reforms as by the task force is going to maybe do something to tame corruption in the country?
I really do not think the reforms will really tame corruption in this country, especially because then there's the difference between the writing, as we've had even in the previous constitution, and the action itself. So if we are really not willing to do away with corruption and deal with it really, then I don't think we are going to deal with it, because as Mheshimiwa has just mentioned, we are so much interested with making so much for ourselves, just so much that you can't even consume, but then your neighbor there doesn't have school fees and even has nothing to consume, and then we are very comfortable with that. So then we are not even human. So number one, we need to be human enough so that we understand that for as long as you've got what you can consume, leave the rest for the other person. So if before we get that value in us and become human enough, then definitely we are not going to achieve that, even with the BBI. And I would say here that I would comfortably say that we are not humans if we are comfortable with that.
Then again, what I can add is, let's start with the employment. We don't employ the right people sometimes due to corruption. You find that people have been employed and at times they don't even understand what they're supposed to do. Let's go to the procurement offices.
Yes.
You find that the funds are, when the time for them to do procurement, they delay, because at times he or she doesn't understand what he's doing in the office.
Yes.
Then by the time that is realizing that the time is going and the year is ending, they'll start running up and down, sourcing for those who can do the things. And thereafter they end up dealing with proxies who can do their interest. And with that, if we can curb that, then we can deal with corruption as per the counties or as per the head offices. That's the same way you are saying it.
What do you think the reforms are supposed to do so as to tame this? Because now it's a crisis. It's a crisis, and crisis must have a solution for us to move forward. What do you think?
I can tell you that we have so many bright people outside here.
Yes.
Let's employ the right people in the right offices.
Okay.
And with that, we will start dealing with corruption. Because when you employ me in the area that I have an idea over, then I will do the right thing in that office.
Yes.
And that one you will find that even the procurement officers, they will do the right thing. When there is a problem, just the same way Mr. Moise said, you start from where it started. Don't just go to the upper office and you say that that person made a mistake. Just follow the channel. Where did we start it from? Because when we are doing these projects, you don't just go and do it.
Yes.
You have to do an application, and there is requirements. If you don't meet the requirement,
Yes.
you are not supposed to get that tender. And we find that because somebody is not understanding, or there is somebody who is in the office who has no idea of what to be done, he gives the job to the wrong person.
Yes.
And that one is corruption.
Yes.
So we should start with that.
We should start with that.
Yeah.
But you know,
yes. Okay. Yes. Mheshimiwa, you can start first.
what I was saying,
Yes.
you got to look at what is the world in the current time, for example. What is the other world, the whole world doing? What is the focus of the other countries in the whole world doing?
Yes.
We can even employ that. We because models are there to be adopted
Yes.
and improved. Because Kenya is actually a developing country. It's not yet developed. I saw something to do with South Korea president arrested
Yes.
and being taken back to jail for corruptions. I saw another president, I think a senior government officer of China sometimes back,
Yes.
arrested. Right?
Yes.
We've seen something happening in Nigeria here. Right?
Yes.
But we have not seen anything happening in Kenya to do with senior officers who have been into office.
Yes.
But after they have left office,
Yes.
the government has said, yes, we will do due diligence to ensure that you take responsibility as the leader who has been entrusted in that office. So let us see that one in the report.
Okay.
If you did not take action, the way we've seen it happening in some schools, for example, it works very well in some areas, let's say Ministry of Education.
Yes.
A school has not performed well. What happens? Some misappropriation of public resources has happened in a particular school. I can remember in one of the primary schools in my village,
Yes.
one of the head teachers was sacked for misappropriation of resources. And he did not do it himself because he's not the only signatory. He did it with other people, including his committee members. It happened. What if we can apply the same even in the county governments, in the parastatals, in the national governments, in the judiciary, in the commissions, and so forth and so forth. So that one, if we put that one as a measure in this report, so that someone fails to take responsibility, then he also carries that particular responsibility. You fail to act, you take the responsibility.
Okay.
Then, secondly,
Yes.
we are talking about punitive measures.
Yes.
We are talking about punitive measures. It is here. It is here in the report.
The report, yes.
But we also have to see it. If it came into your table, for example, that last year someone committed this.
Yes.
A case has been brought across, and you are the judge. It is actually in the judiciary where we are talking about that we must have proper reforms and have the right people heading that institution, so that when you are brought to that particular office, the judge is able to look at it holistically and now apply the law as required. Because at times you are given the powers to make self-discretions in terms of judgments, the way you are going to pass it.
To pass it out,
So in my opinion, let us have it also on paper. So that's something that we can track as Kenyans. Finally, on the same, as you've said, I have listened to what Madam was saying, that we have failed to put the right of people in the office. You may not be able to know who is this person who is right, who is not right. Because if at the time of employment, Madam, I bribed to become, so it tells me that where I'm going, the first thing I've been introduced to is there is an act of giving, of bribing. For example, if you look at the police force, the way they are recruiting people, currently as we speak, it is known, if you don't have 100,000 and above, so those officers, I think everyone is taking us back to it, but I'm saying,
let me put something
I'm building on your point.
Let me put something, then I give you time.
Fine.
And exactly what he's saying, that's why we don't give the right people the mandate to to hold the offices. Once you've bribed, so how can we do away with that bribing? Then we get the right people in the office. Why do you have to bribe? So the person who is who is taking the bribe should be dealt with.
Because
that is the wrong
you are right. That's why I was saying. That's why I was saying that, you see, we are talking about having the right people in offices, and people who should take responsibility. I want to tell you that technology is the best way to go currently. Even in terms of recruitment. If you want to employ, for example, a police officer, for example, what are the basics that they are doing? I see them go to the field and run. I see them taking the heights. I see them taking the medical tests. Maybe urinalysis. Such things only. Running, we can say, we set up here a gym, for example. You go there, connect yourself. Then we take your speed at which you are running. We train you. That there is a way we can get that information from Nairobi. Okay? If it's in terms of height, we will see you. Just stand there. You are the one that has made application the other day. Let me see your name like this, and then we see you. At the gate, we will be able to tell that you are this height. You met this period because there is timing. All right. So at the end of the day, there is no corruption. Technology must work in Kenya.
But you see,
before that, let's balance. Yes. What do you have, Alicia?
I think what I wanted to add was that getting the right people for the right offices is okay. But most importantly, let us also give them the opportunity to do their job. Because you see, you are given the opportunity to work. But then you are also dictated on what to do. So like, for example, if you are going to do recruitment for the police officers, then the boss has already said that I need 4 million from that exercise. If you do not bring that 4 million to me, then you
next time we will not give you that opportunity.
So you are left with no option at all. But for purposes of survival, do that so that you can keep your job.
So now, how can we tame this? That is what now we're talking about, because we have already identified it as a big problem. Now, how can
in fact, let me tell you that we are just on the same page, but in different lines. Because how to do away with that? We start with this bribing issue. That is what should be stopped first. And again, in the office, if you want to get the right person in the office, look at the IFMIS, how it's being done nowadays. You just key in your things on the system. You don't meet anybody. Then there, you can follow up how you perform. We can even do it that way. If you want somebody in the office, let people key in their details in a certain platform. Then they don't even meet those who are going to interview them. You get interviewed through online. With that, you'll get the right people, because you'll just key in, does that person has A? You take. Does that person has this? You take. You see? You don't even have to meet the person in particular. But if we leave it that you bring your papers, then you come for interviews, of which that's why some people will go at the back door and bribe, and they be in the office where they can't even handle the pressure. And that's why we end up in corruption.
Mheshimiwa, back to what we had talked about the executive appointing the ombudsman, and then dealing with the issues of independency and maybe dependency of the institutions. Don't you think, or do you think that if at all the president or maybe the executive has decided to now appoint the ombudsman, so that at least they would monitor how they execute their works in terms of dealing with these cases and stuff? Do you think that one is what maybe they have been thinking about?
Let me tell you, in the current setup of the government of Kenya, there is what we call the judiciary. There is the presidency, which is the executive.
Okay.
There is the legislature.
Yes.
And there is the judiciary.
Yes.
These are three distinct institutions,
yes,
which must run in the parallel setup.
Yes.
So why do you want to bring again another level where now they are going to meet?
Yes.
It is at the aspirations of Kenyans that we have them as they are.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So that independence of judiciary can also make decisions or can also gauge when the executive has failed to deliver or has erred in terms of, number one, maybe you have decided to punish someone because of emotions, because someone has failed to actually meet your standards or your expectations somewhere, right? Because we are all human beings in these offices.
Yes.
I'll give you an example. If you can remember, there is a law that was passed in Parliament on finance issues, the finance bill, and Kenyans were not happy.
Yes.
But we saw clearly the executive trying to manipulate the way National Assembly was behaving.
Yes. Yes.
Last week you saw so many laws that were passed illegally.
Yes.
They have been now overturned by the judiciary.
Yes.
But remember, those laws some of them were being sponsored by the executive.
Okay.
So now let's talk about the ombudsman, who is now in the judiciary, appointed by the executive.
Okay.
Will you get justice? Will you get justice? I've given you a very clear example. So in my opinion, I will tell you clearly that if Mr. today is against the government, today, let's give an example of the BBI, assuming I'm not supporting the BBI, and I am influential on the ground.
Yes.
And the government needs that particular single vote or 10,000 votes that I'm going to influence.
Okay.
They'll simply sit and say, okay, you Mwise, we are telling you to support this BBI. Umekata, wait and see.
Okay.
You ombudsman, go tell the head of the president of the judiciary that we want Mwise in for 5 days. Just like it happened when we were discussing the revenue allocation bill in the Senate.
In the Senate, yes.
You saw some senators being told you did some meeting somewhere without following some particular channel. You made some head speech somewhere.
Okay.
We will tell you when you go to the station.
Okay. Okay. Moving to the next question, Mheshimiwa, let me start with you now. A matter of women. Now, do you think the BBI report has got something in store for women?
Okay, we thank the BBI, we thank Baba for what they've done with his brother Uhuru Kenyatta.
Okay.
But the things we have in the store for women, I'll start with, they've said that we have the Women Senate. And they've done away with women women representative position.
Yes.
So what is there is that it is just the same thing, different name. So there's nothing we've added.
Okay.
According to my opinion, I would have advised if they could just leave the position for women representative and at the same time we have the slot for Senate for women. That one we are going to have more women because we are working, we were dealing with the gender issue.
Yes.
And for that, women will have the position. Then again, they've added these parliamentary seats.
Okay.
The parliamentary seats are left open in as much as they've added some slots, but they have left open for both women and men. And let me tell you right here, women really fear vying for something they are going to be with men at the same ballot.
Why do you think women fear?
I think it's because, this issue of violence, Then again, issue of finances.
Okay.
You know, with a man, you can wake up one day and say, I want to sell this my land, and I go buy.
Okay.
But with us women, we have that inner heart that tells you that if you don't get it.
Okay.
So this violence make women they don't become aggressive.
Okay.
Because of that.
Okay.
So we are still searching for something there in the store to be added.
Yes.
If they can leave for us the slot of women representative position,
yes,
and then they add us this Senate position,
yes,
we'll be so happy as women.
So you're still not contented with the fact that the seats have been taken to the upper level, or maybe to the Senate?
Okay, we appreciate that. Yes,
yes,
because with the Senate, women are going to have more powers, more than the power they had when they were women representative.
Yes.
But you see, it's still 47 seats,
yes,
for women.
Okay.
So there is no seats added at the top.
Yes.
So what if we could have had the 47 seats for women representative?
Yes.
Then again, we had these 47 seats for Senate,
okay,
just for women themselves. Then that one we will score as women.
Don't you think that one will be overburdening the common mwananchi in terms of wage bill and maybe paying the tax?
No, not really, because you see, some other slots have been added.
Okay.
Is it not going to burden the mwananchi? You know, here we have to work with something that deals with the gender.
Okay.
And women are vulnerable.
Okay.
You know, that's why we are fighting for more slots for them.
Yes.
Because these men, they don't give women time or space to do what they want.
Yes.
And I would like to urge on top of that, that as they are adding some parliamentary seats,
yes,
they could have stated it that if those are the areas where we have population,
yes,
which is high, they have the one MP and the deputy MP who is a woman, and they take good care of that constituency as one.
Okay.
That also they could have worked for something for women. Yeah.
Thank you. Elisha, in terms of the additional constituencies in the parliament, and then the economy of the country as per now, and then a lot of workforce, we know that it depends on the youth, right? And then these youths don't have jobs. And then the constituencies have also been added, of which the members of parliament, as per that, are going to be treated with no exclusion. They're going to just be treated as other members. Don't you think that they are now overburdening the youths to that hard level?
Yeah, I think we first of all need to understand where we are coming from.
Yes.
When we are talking about, just allow me,
yes,
the issue of the position of the women in the society.
Okay.
It's good to understand that previously we never had, Kenya being a patriarchal system, state, men dominated most of the things.
Yes.
And initially we had almost all members of parliament as men.
Yes.
And then as time went by, I think after Cold War, with a lot of feminism and advocacy for the position of women, we've over time seen some change. I think it's good to at least embrace that and appreciate that.
Yes.
From 2020, after the new constitution, we had the position of the women representative. And I think most importantly is we need to look at what have the women done with the positions that they were given. I think that would be most important before we look at adding more positions.
Yes.
I know there are several states.
I may not agree. I may not agree with you.
Let him finish first. You'll be given time to say.
He's actually taking, he's taking a very dangerous direction.
Okay, fine. Which you will get time. May not allow you will get that time.
He's misleading the public.
Yes,
remember, this is a. Let me tell you, my brother. We cannot start talking about what have you done as a woman or as a youth for you to get what you're supposed to get.
Yes.
It is not a favor.
Okay.
Nobody in this republic is riding on favors.
Yes.
Women are supposed to get their rights as you are getting it as a man. We cannot even let me
I'm giving you that minute. I'm just giving you that minute. It's okay. It's okay.
We are not talking about you want to give the opportunity. The point that I want him actually to retrieve and retract is the point that what have they done?
Fine. That one, you're coming to answer that. Should not even.
I think that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming in. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now becoming hotter and hotter. Let's go for the first break, but then when we come back, Mheshimiwa will continue with the same issue of the women and feminism and all that we have. This is LTV Kenya. Remember, you can send your messages through our page at LTV Kenya Facebook, LTV Kenya 1 YouTube, and LTV Kenya/1 in Instagram. We are having a short commercial break, but when we come back, it's going to be getting hotter and hotter. Thank you very much.
And here we will be giving you what you've been missing in the entertainment industry.
We will be hosting different guests, upcoming artists, as well as your favorite entertainers.
To motivate you, the youth, we will be bringing you youthful entrepreneurs who have made it in life.
Politically, you are in the right place. We will be bringing you the already established politicians. And to upcoming politicians, this is where your political career will be nurtured. Live only on LTV Kenya, the home of the best.
Indeed, LTV Kenya is home of the best.
Thank you. I hope that you have enjoyed your break and you're still enjoying the show. Without wasting a lot of time, let's start with Elisha. Elisha, you are trying to protect your word. Now let us protect it so that we at least Mheshimiwa and the other Mheshimiwa can understand.
Yeah, thank you very much. I know this is a very sensitive issue.
Of course.
And sometimes the selection of words maybe would make Mheshimiwa and the lady Mheshimiwa here to think that I want to be against women.
Okay.
But what I was trying to put across was that I know change is a process, and change usually does not come once. Change would need to be given time. Just like today we are talking of BBI, we are talking of reading the document and understanding it and making the right decisions.
Yes.
As we want to move towards that change,
we
are trying to give ourselves time to understand what this change is bringing to us, to study it and to see on how to internalize it. That is all that I was saying. I see if today we would say even remove all men from the parliament and let only women there. But if we do not understand how that is going to impact us, all of us, then we may still not achieve what we are doing. Okay. Having talked about that, I was to talk about the issue of youths.
Before you go to the youth issues, allow me to tell you something on women.
Yes.
I have seen the BBI proposing something to do with women, and the women have gotten a raw deal.
Yes.
So far. Raw deal. Let us, me, I don't want to say that my party leader, the president, has said, or Baba has said. I don't want to say that because I want to talk as a common man.
Yes.
A common woman in the village.
Yes.
A common youth in the village.
Yes.
This is the position.
Yes.
You know, if you look at the BBI the way it is actually talking about that members of parliament will be representatives of the people.
Yes.
As provided for in Schedule 1, Subschedule 2, Subsection 2 of the Constitution. If you are talking about the representatives of the people as being members of parliament, who are making decisions on resource allocation, as far as women and children and any other person in that particular constituency is concerned, then you are moving women from the National Assembly to the Senate. This is the game. We have a ball. But we are telling you, do not get into the field. Go stay outside there. After we have played, whatever score that we have gotten, then we'll come and tell you what we have. That is what you have been given as women. And therefore, my proposal is, let us see women in National Assembly. it would have been better even to say women in the National Assembly be left untouched, because there they make decisions.
Okay.
There they make the budgets. There they make laws that cut across.
Yes.
The Senate only make laws that affect the counties.
Yes.
Only. The Senate only protects the county governments.
Yes.
And ensure that the counties are prospering.
Prospering, true.
And in the Senate we have had, we have actually a senator, and we have had women who have been nominated to the Senate.
Yes.
We have also youth who are represented
in
there.
the Senate, yes.
And we have also the persons with
disabilities, yes.
But that one, I would rather we have that particular group
yes.
in the National Assembly where critical decisions are made.
Okay.
So that now issues that are affecting the common man, including the marginalized people,
yes,
okay, they participate
yes.
and make such decisions.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So the issue of, for example, you talked about the increment of members of parliament, for example.
Yes.
I've seen it here.
Yes, yes.
For information, Migori has received 0.
Wow.
0 increment, 0 from the proposal I've seen here.
Yes.
Because, and remember, Kuria West, for example, is the most populated constituencies in Migori.
In Migori, yes.
Most populated. And then your constituency. So actually, if it was an issue of considering interests of all the people,
yes.
Migori or then Kuria, which is a marginalized community,
yes.
in this case, would have been given at least a slot, so that we can increase our number in the National Assembly.
True.
So there was nothing wrong with saying, let us also have special interest of people or positions of special interest at the constituency level.
Yes, in the National Assembly.
In the National Assembly. Just like you are saying, we are expanding the executive.
Yes.
Just like you are saying, we are having other commissions.
Yes.
Just like you are saying, we want to bring on board shadow cabinet, which is going to be financed.
Yes.
That is like doubling the cabinet.
Okay.
Instead of doing that, a member of parliament, whether you are in the ruling party or the opposing party, you are supposed to oversight the national executive or the county executive.
True.
That is your role. That is what is in the constitution.
Yes.
So there's no need of us having the shadow cabinet.
Yes.
Let's have that particular provision and those resources channeled into having at least 3 or 4 constituencies combined and having one representative of either women or the youth.
Yes.
Then another, in Migori County, for example, we can say we have 8 constituencies.
Yes.
Let's merge, for example, if it was supposed to be progressive.
Yes.
Even though we have seen a proposal here saying that in the next election, for your information, we are going to have what is being proposed. Actually, it's actually going to be in the constitution. We are going to have the political parties are going to generate a closed list whereby you are going to have male or female. There's the so-called the zebra pattern.
Yes.
Where we have, if it's a man top, second is woman.
Yes.
Like that. In the party list that is going to be submitted to the political parties, the registered political parties, and then to the IEBC. So that now you are given slots relative to the number of votes that this particular party or that particular area received. Okay? So a pattern that is actually implemented in Israel.
Yes.
That is the model that Israel is using. There is nowhere you are going to take your papers as a candidate. Now I'm Honorable Mwise Mwera is going to contest for parliamentary position in Kuria East. I will say that, yes, but present to my party.
Yes.
And my party as well is going to also say, where are the women? Can we have a woman now vying on this particular party as well for this position?
Yes.
So like this my shirt, this is now white, red, and blue. Like that.
Yes.
So maybe the white is men, the red is woman, the third one is maybe person with a beard, for example.
Yes.
So it will be just alternate like this. So now, depending on the number of votes that party scores in that area, then they pick from that list.
Okay.
And when they're going to pick, they're going to say one man here, this constituency, for example, woman. This constituency like this.
Yes.
Okay. But that is going to be determined now at the national level by the Senate and the Council of Parties.
Okay.
Are you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So in your thoughts,
in your thoughts, do you believe, or are you trying to say that the BBI report is somehow trying to play with the reasoning of the women, something like that?
in my opinion,
Yes.
let me tell you, this BBI is going to deny Kenyans the rights to participate and make choices as per their preferences. Let me put it that way, for lack of words.
Okay.
Because if, for example, today I vied and I actually influenced for 10,000 votes from my area.
Yes.
And actually, it is out of the same that the party scored that number, which is maybe 90%.
Yes.
And in the national council or body or governing body of that particular party, I am not in good books. Or someone has given a higher package. All right? So I'm going to be denied that opportunity.
Yes.
It will not be justice to me and my voters who supported my cause.
Yes.
I just think that we should actually have done it this way in my proposal. Though I don't know whether I can listen, and I'm talking to my party leader. If he's listening, the president, I'm a member of Jubilee Party.
Yes, yes.
The only elected member in Kuria East. Now, for in Jubilee Party. Now, my proposal is this on matters to do with women.
Okay.
Let us have a budget mentioned that women will be given this particular figure, financed and supported by the government, to objectively and effectively compete against men. Let me tell you, Felix, for an effective campaign, we must have, or a person to go and succeed in elections, there are 4 critical things at play. The first one is resources, which is money. The second one is networks. The third one, the ability to mobilize, and your vision and your manifesto.
Yes.
These 4. You have heard Zipper saying that most women, and it is true, outside here, she wants to go into politics. She is weighing, I have saved this. And remember, they are also not given equal opportunities in terms of business versus men. And so they are disadvantaged, my brother. So when they go there, she's weighing, I have 5 million in my account.
Yes.
I want to spend 2.5 million to contest for MCA.
Yes.
But you remember, in elections, it's a gambling game.
Yeah. Yes.
You may get or may not get.
You may not get.
Now, the government should say, we are giving each member, because it is obvious that you are going to spend money, we are giving them this percentage of funds or money or materials, whatever that they are going to do. You make your budget. I'll print this number of t-shirts, papers, and posters, etc. We will facilitate that. We will give you fuel, this amount, for you to move around and actually do your meetings.
Yes.
If they do that, that is the best way to empower, in my opinion, to empower women. And they need also to come with a legislation and say, anywhere you are campaigning with a woman and you ensure or you try to employ crude methods of intimidation, violence against a woman who is contesting against you, this is what is going to befall you. Okay? That law is put there in the Political Parties Act or Election Act. I can tell you that is progressive enough. But telling us that we are moving women from the National Assembly to the Senate, where they are going to discuss issues to do with counties,
of which their powers have also been decreased.
It has. Nothing, my friend. You have not
before Elisha speaks about the youths, do you think that maybe the BBI has got no good deal for the women?
Felix, I support BBI fully.
Yes.
And I know they mean good for everybody. But this issue of women, you know, if you have something in the store, if poverty is looming, you don't remove what is in the store, then you get another one. You see? You just pump in the store. So why do you have to remove something that we've got in the store and add the exact number? You know, there's no difference. The difference is 0. So I could have advised that if they could just leave that slot for women representative, then again they add as this slot for Senate, just the same as I've said. It will make women have that, they'll be motivated. Then again, we talked of these, they've added parliamentary seats. of which they are not meant for women. See, that one you agree with?
True.
It's for everybody. Anybody can vie for that seat. So if it is going to be stiff, if there is going to be stiff competition, then you'll find that by the end of the day, men will have it. Men will carry the day.
True.
Then these women who vied, there's nothing they have been done for. Just as they have said that if the president wins, then the opposition leader will be there. Why don't we do it the same with the women? If the man wins in any level, what are we going to do for these women who have tried? For example, check on those who are being nominated. Just do some research. You'll find that most of women who are being nominated, they understand nothing about politics. Most of them. Because they are just being picked.
Okay.
If you check on those who vied and they've used their resources, they are not being considered. Perhaps you are coming from a community where you are not known, or your party doesn't know you, because with women they are not all that aggressive. You'll find that a woman is vying for a MCA position, and she has never gone to Nairobi. So thereafter utaona mtu amejaribu, lakini hata hakuna ile kitu anaweza ona ili kuonyesha kwamba amejaribu.
That is already provided for.
Then again, with this nomination issue, I think for women we could have even done away with nominations, but we are left with election position just meant for women, because it's going to be women affair. By the end of the day, a woman must lead. Whether number one, or a woman must be number one.
Let me ask you this question. The report has suggested that women be taken from away from the National Assembly to the Senate. Now, do you think that one is going to help maybe to end the discrimination of women, or it's just going to worsen the situation?
Okay, it's going to, according to me, it's going to worsen the situation. Because when you get to that assembly, you'll not find women there. And if you find them, they'll just be nominated leaders. Just for example, right now, how many women are elected MPs in Kenya today? You can just count. But men are the majority in that assembly.
But now the government has given you, or the report has given you the equal number in the Senate. Do you think that one is going to help you?
That one is going to help us, because
but the decision
there is that one for men and there is that one for women.
Look at the decision we are going to make in the Senate. How are they interacting on the common woman before that? How?
Yes.
It's just going to deal with the counties, not the national government.
Okay.
So
but then you see, that one already means that the government is giving you something small just for the
Felix, Felix, look at it this way.
Yes.
I think I need to help her a little bit.
Yes.
Which women are we talking about here?
Okay.
The vulnerable one.
If you are talking about a common woman,
yes.
Mama Mboga, ule anauza omena, yule anafagia,
selling mandazis and
mkulima,
who is going to talk on their behalf in the parliament?
If that is what you are talking about, if this is the group you are talking about,
yes,
then why are we wasting a lot of our energy on politicians?
Okay.
If you decide to go into politics,
yes,
play politics. But now, we are saying they must be represented.
Okay.
Because I want to tell you for free, I am a man.
Okay.
I am an elected member.
Yes.
I sit with my people on a daily basis.
Yes.
I operate from home to Migori County Assembly and back on a daily basis.
Yes.
I interact with my people.
Yes.
But at times, people come, when I wake up, I get people outside my inside my compound, and we are discussing issues. Some women would rather talk to my wife and discuss confidential issues and tell them what some women are more free and happy and comfortable to tell my wife, for example, sina unga ya jioni, sina mboga, sina chumvi. And for information, that is what honorable members of county assembly are going through.
Okay.
Okay? So some, they fear telling us. Anaweza kuja nidanganya niambie, Mheshimiwa, I have a problem with my child is sick. But to be honest, hata niambia sina pad, sina hii. But she will be much open to her colleague and say, this is my problem.
Okay.
Are you seeing?
Yes.
So what I was saying is this.
Yes.
if the government is honest enough, and actually if the BBI team is honest enough to ensure that they empower our women, right from the kids up all the way through,
Yes.
let us discuss issues to do with National Assembly, not the Senate.
Yes.
Let us discuss something to do with resource allocation and actually having resources. Let's talk about budget.
Yes.
The national budget factoring in a particular percentage for women who is the common woman in the village.
Yes. Okay.
If that is what we are talking about,
Yes.
if you are talking about inclusivity, if you are talking about equal distribution of resources,
Yes.
if you are talking about empowering our women and the youth, can we say the same way then there is a law saying 2% of the national budget
Yes.
or 0.5% of the national budget is meant for CDF.
Yes.
If you are saying 5% of the county revenue or budget
Yes.
is meant for World Development Fund,
Yes.
can we also mention something like 5% is meant for women empowerment in the national budget? Because that's a national function, that's a national government function.
Yes.
So the 65% that is left in the national government, because that 5 has been devolved,
Yes.
out of this 65%, can we see maybe 2.5% of that total budget embedded in the budget for women, specifically women issues,
Okay.
to empower that particular ministry? Same to the youth issues. And let's make wards planning units for national budgets.
Okay.
Because you have a whole department of national planning.
Yes.
Can we say, when you're making a budget, in the policies that the government is coming up with through the BBI report, 5% is given to the youth, 5% to the women, say 2% in ratio of numbers, in ratio of numbers, for example,
Yes.
with people with disability, for example, so that we agree 10% cumulatively is addressing issues of the marginalized communities or groups in the entire Republic of Kenya.
Thank you very
That
much.
is
We'll get back on that. And now, talking about the youths, maybe that, can you tell us something? Do you think the BBI has got something tangible for the youths in Kenya?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, number one, allow me to say that the youths from the BBI, the BBI is promising some allocations so that they are able to venture into businesses. But I think a lot still needs to be done, particularly so that we can see that in practice. Because if we have that just in writing, then maybe, and with the corruption we've just mentioned, we will have those allocations, but then they will not get to the young people.
Okay.
And secondly, there's also need to see on how we can have our young people employed, because I think there should be several opportunities that we need to have for our young people. We are putting a lot of emphasis in schools, and we are having our young people go to school, but then thereafter it's like we are not caring where they're ending up into. So we need to see on how to get employment opportunities for them, and if at all the sectors that we have been venturing into are not enough, then we need to get alternatives. We've had a number of people getting employed through talents. That includes sports, issues of modeling, and such like.
Yes.
How do we get those as alternatives for our young people so that then they are able to be employed? Most of these things we see on televisions, and you come to, for example, Migori County, I think it's recently that we've started seeing modeling events.
Yes.
So I think we need to also start venturing into those ones. Secondly, or thirdly, we have these issues of loans given to students when they go to school. And sometimes it becomes very difficult for them to, at the end of the day, pay the loans that include the HELB loans. Because then you are going to school, you've been given the loan, you are not assured of the job.
Yes.
So sometimes you finish the school, you are out for several years. The moment you get the job, it's like you are paying that loan.
Yes.
So I think the BBI should have dug deep into this so that we get better alternatives for our young people.
Yes.
If in case maybe you've gotten the help, then please let's be assured of a job after you've done that.
Yes.
I think lastly, I would want to talk about the revenue allocation. My point of view is if we are going to have increase of revenues that are going to be allocated to our county government, personally I believe in change that begins at some point and then maybe spreads all over. Bringing a change like in a very bigger proportion can sometimes be very difficult. So I would only want to urge our leaders who are at maybe the county, if this allocation comes, Mheshimiwa is here right now, then what we would want to see is before we see maybe the change, total overhaul in Kenya as a state, can we see it in Migori?
Yes.
So that then we are able to say that, yes, we are not doing it at the national level, but then in Migori County, because of good leadership, we are seeing the changes. I think that way, we are talking of women who are part of the special groups. We are talking of youth and young people. We are able to start to come up with better policies at these lowest levels, and then we are able to see maybe the alternative that I've just mentioned at those lowest levels. And then I'm very sure even the higher levels, including, because then if you do it in Migori County, other counties will follow. Instead of going to benchmark in other countries, the US, Israel and all that, who are not even of our caliber, then we can come from, move from Kisii, go and benchmark in Siaya. You know, you are in the same locality, you are facing the same challenges, and so it's easy to even implement what you have seen. So what I'm urging our leaders is, before we cry for so much, let us embrace the little that we've gotten. Let us put it into the right use. Let us see those better results. Mheshimiwa here said that the millions that were given to Kenya for Galana Kulalu the other day, he is very sure if he was given even less, then he could have achieved that. I would want us to employ that principle so that we see those right changes. Because then we've also seen a number of projects that through the processes that they undergo, procurement processes, they're just being squandered. And we are not having results. So before even the more monies come, the beings, us as human beings, have to change our ways of operation. And then let's see that change from a small point to the largest point. That is what I would say.
Mheshimiwa, back to you. In terms of allocation, Elisha, who is a youth advocate, has just said that then there are some, there's supposed to be some allocations at the county level that maybe we'll see of activities happening in the county. In Migori County, to be particular, are there allocations that are seeing forth the growth of youths as far as the county level is concerned?
Let me just put it this way. You know, county governments only do activities or functions that are provided for under Schedule 4 or in Schedule 4 of the Constitution of Kenya. Well, we have a whole department of youth, gender and social services in Migori. I will talk about specific activities that I've seen being undertaken in Migori to ensure that the youth get their resources. One, I've seen the government of Migori facilitating the youth to participate in talent promotions. For example, I'll give you an example of my ward in Timaru East. I took over in 2017. There was zero club. Zero. And there was no single club of youth, either for volleyball, football, or whichever activities. Right now, as we speak, I have 6 very strong teams, both boys and girls. And myself, I'm a player. I participate in those activities. Most of the resources that I use or are channeled into my ward are county government funded resources. Right? So that is a way of promoting talent. As we speak, I have one very good youth polytechnic that is doing very well. We are training them on various activities and skills. But the resources they are given are very limited, very little. And you know, it is to do with a particular leader, as you put it, the goodwill. For example, if you can remember, President Kibaki was so much keen on women and youth empowerment. Very keen. The former president. Our current president, even though he's youthful, he's my party leader. Even though he's youthful, I've not liked the way he's approaching youth issues. I'm a youthful leader. I am not happy because I supported him based on the manifesto that the way he articulated the issues to do with youth empowerment. That is why I joined TNA party in 2013. 2017 we merged it to be Jubilee. even in the campaigns, the way it was actually aligned to youth interests, everybody was like happy. We want to achieve this. They gave us a whole world of heaven, which we have not achieved. So that's why I'm saying,
yes,
instead of us saying, my brother, that let us see it happening in Migori County,
yes,
before we talk about other areas, let us say it this way. Let it be constitutional.
Okay.
Let it be in the constitution. The same way we are saying counties would not have gotten us where we are, into where we are, if we said that let's leave it to the Kibaki, the Kibaki way, the way he was actually devolving CDF and giving ministries opportunities and independency to do it. Let this thing of the youth and women funding be constitutional. It becomes a requirement. So that you as a governor, when you are elected on that day, on day one, when you are doing your budget, you must actually, your budget tools should actually be designed in a way that if you do not meet 5% of the county budget for the youth, your budget cannot be uploaded in the controller of budgets office. It cannot be approved. If you do not meet 5% of women, the entire budget for women, in your budget, it may not go through. Are you seeing what I'm saying? So that now it is a mandatory thing. You upenda usipe, it is there. So that now 90% that is left, you are able to play with other people. For other things. If it's agriculture, if it is water, do. But if for issues to do with women and youth, let it be the first priority that you will meet.
Yeah, I wanted to add something. The BBI, I think it's meant well for youth because it wants to imply something that has not been there. But there are some things that we have to, if they can press it. Look at the business. The youths have been given, for the starters, they have been given 7 years holiday, tax-free. How are they going to get these jobs? If you want to tender, they have to check on the past experience. For the starter, where is this person going to get the experience? Then the financial issue. If we look at the financial institutions, they've really put some strict restrictions for the funds. You know, if you check on back in, was it on 2015 or 2016 there, if you add an LSO or an LPO, you could walk to the bank and get the loan as per the LPO. They can give you a percentage of that. And look at the youth who is going to have a new business and he wants to start doing the business. Perhaps he might go for tenders. For you to have a tender, you have to buy. Where is this youth going to get money from? Okay, after buying the tender, for you to fill it, they need the bid bond. Which means if it's a tender that goes beyond some millions, a youth cannot afford. How are we going to help them?
Correct.
So I think we should search for a body that can help these youths on how they can get finances or where can they get the money to do these businesses. With that, BBI is going to help them. But if you just tell them that you are going to have 3 years, 7 years free tax, how is that going to help them? Though it's a good idea because it's going to motivate youth to have businesses, of which they don't have, most of them. And then again, the issue of help, they've been given 4 years holiday for them to start repaying the help loan. But what if we could have done it the way it's being done in the forces? Look at the police. Once you've been taken to that, you are being picked as a police, you get your salary from that month. And with the youths, you find that as we are going to school after Form 4, there is direct intake to the university. What do we have for the direct intake? We start with that. If you are a direct intake, after 4th year, then you should be assured of job. Of which, if you are given 4 years holiday, these 4 years, at least you can do some of your things. Then thereafter, you start paying loan. You know, if you have loan, you need to pay it once you've seen the outcome, the yield, you eat the fruits. Then thereafter, you start paying the loan. With that will help them. But we are saying that we want to give them 4 years holiday, of which after these 4 years they have no job. I know those who finished 4th year with upper class back in 2012 and they have no job. So if you tell that person that 4 years, it's not going to be enough for them.
Okay.
So we should look at the ways on which they can acquire a job so that after that 4 years, they will be able to repay the loan.
Okay.
Then again, let me talk on business inside of women. Business, there are some business which are meant and they believe that they are for men.
Yes.
Even if you go and bid, you will not be given because they value you as a woman. Or perhaps you don't have the requirements
Yes.
as a woman because we fall under the vulnerable category. Would they please waiver for us some? Like the past experience, perhaps you don't have, but you have the capacity as a woman to do a certain tender. We would like them to waiver for us those. And that's what I can add.
As a youth, before Mheshimiwa you speak, as a youth, what do you think should have been indicated in the reforms or the BBI report so that at least they help curb this situation of the youths?
I think very clearly we should have been addressed most of the issues of the youth right now. I think taking the lead is unemployment.
Yes.
And so it should have come out very clearly how we are going to tackle this issue of employment of young people.
Okay.
And so, as I mentioned, the government should start right now looking at the alternatives of employment, because then it's also in our minds as young people that the good jobs are only jobs in offices, of which seemingly is not the case. So I think that could be very key for me. And then secondly, issues of coming out very clearly in terms of allocations, as Mheshimiwa has just mentioned.
Yes.
We need to be very specific on what are we allocating for our young people, and what are we allocating particularly for women, because then the different genders have their different needs. Some are special to the other genders. We have issues of sanitary towels that I've seen, and I would want to applaud most of our women representatives. I saw them distributing a lot of sanitary towels, particularly during COVID-19. And so issue of representation is very key, because then the two genders have different interests, and different special challenges. Budgetary allocation is all about interest and numbers. So if we are many as men, then most probably as we going to vote, then we say, sanitary towel, how many? Then you have 2 women. And then they say, now that one is not good. So I think representation is key. And I would want to support that. Really, we need to have a good number of women as well in the parliament, both at the lower level and even at the National Assembly.
Yes. Mheshimiwa, do you have anything to add?
I wanted to say this. You know, me, I like learning from models.
Yes.
I'm a strategist by profession.
Wow.
Now, if you can remember our former president, Kibaki.
Yes.
He did a very small thing to ensure that the youth, at that time, we had a serious level of insecurity in the country.
Yes, yes.
The president said, I'm zero rating imports of motorbikes.
Wow.
And then we had the border industry. Yesterday, I had some youth in my area, in my home.
Yes.
We were discussing something to do with how to train the borders. So that now, because there's tarmac road that is passing in Timaru town, so we were asking ourselves, now you guys, very soon we'll have traffic police here. How are you going to survive? Because mtakuwa mnashikwa mnapelekwa cell each day. Kitakuwaje? So I asked them, how many are you? Me, I didn't know that number is that big in my area.
Yes.
So far, in my own ward, we have over 1,000 and something youth.
Wow.
When you're nakimbisha pikipiki.
Wow.
And it is so interesting that some of the youth from that industry wanachukua siku hizi kitu 20k, wanaenda na deposit kwa muhindi, wanapewa motorbike.
Yes.
Na nataka nikuambie, we have changed our lifestyle. At this time that I could walk, siku hizi siwezi tembea.
Well, you can't, yes.
I have to call for a motorbike. Wewe boda come, unipeleke. So my thinking is the BBI should now look into that as a model, because that is the common man on the ground. Then waseme wale ambao hawasikizi, hawafikirii maneno ya boda. The youth who don't think about boda.
Yes.
So what? The youth who cannot go do contractual business like she was talking about, the tax recess and so the people who cannot be able to go to universities. So what? We cannot talk about the youth without also talking about agriculture.
True.
Are you seeing? Because we are talking of a sustainable decision or move going forward. Where are we taking our nation? We should also talk about the youth who are farmers. What is the BBI providing for those youth who are farmers?
Yes.
Okay. What about the youth who have dropped from school? They cannot go to the polytechnics. They are not in this other industry. What is it that we can be able to do? So that is why myself, I was thinking, let us now embed that in the constitution. Say, X percentage of the total budget of the national budget is going to be put in the Ministry of Youth, and now a policy is developed that is a whole inclusive, because that is inclusivity is the main reason why we are having this BBI.
Yes.
So from that perspective, we talk about everybody, because the country's security in acquiring any loan from any international institution is its population. Regardless of how many professionals, how many businessmen, it is how many do you have, right?
Yes.
So can we make use of that? Because every person in the Republic of Kenya pays tax.
Okay.
So that is my proposal.
Thank you very much. And now, before we have a break, there's a question that we want to talk about in terms of allocation. We saw the allocations to the counties being raised from 15% to 35%. How do you think this is going to affect the workability of the county assembly?
Well, county assemblies, if it's in terms of allocation or increment,
increment.
County assemblies are independent of that.
Okay.
Because the budget should follow the functions.
Yes.
The budget should follow the functions. And for a matter of fact, as we speak currently, county assemblies do not have the capacity, the requisite capacity to oversight the executive.
Yes.
That is the truth. And it's a model that you can even get from anywhere. It's free advice to everybody.
Yes.
If you're intending to go to the county assembly in the current arrangement, the county assemblies do not have that required capacity to oversight the executive as required.
Yes.
So now, in my opinion, the increase of the county allocation from 15% to that 5% is a good move. I welcome it 100%.
Yes.
Because it's actually going to ensure that there is efficient and proper implementation of resources, of activities and functions that are devolved. However, in my opinion, can we say now that the fast tracking of audit and approval of audit reports in the National Assembly is current?
Yes.
Because you may increase it from 15% to that 5%, and we are also talking about audited reports of which year? Maybe 2014, 2015. What was the allocation at that time?
Okay.
If you go back to the current budget or revenue, it may be 5% or 15%. Okay?
Yes.
So that is the first thing.
Yes.
The second thing that I'm appreciating with the issue of devolution is the World Development Fund.
Yes.
This World Development Fund, in my opinion, it is actually meant to ensure that youth, the members of county assemblies have that independency in terms of oversight. As it is now, members of county assemblies are dependent of the goodwill of the current management of the executive, because they cannot oversight with a lot of autonomy. All right?
Yes.
But if you have the World Development Fund, whether you are supporting the current government or not supporting it, you will question.
Yes.
You will question. And actually, you will prioritize issues with your people as they come.
Yes.
So to me, that is a very good move by the national government.
Yes.
And so, because remember again, members of county assemblies, we are forced to do issues that cut across, including the ones that are meant for the national government.
Yes.
If you're talking about a primary school, a toilet has collapsed there. Or students in the primary section have a problem with desks, for example. The member of parliament is always in Nairobi. And our voters, sometimes they don't understand us. And I want to tell you that my president, I want to echo him and I want to thank Baba for understanding the needs of the members of county assembly.
Okay.
Very soon I may even cross because he has been talking about this thing.
They cross to the other side.
They cross.
Just close, just
Because Baba has been consistent on how members of county assemblies are suffering.
Okay.
The president, sometimes he was told, we told him in Mombasa, look at what we are going through.
Okay.
And my friend, let me tell you, you have even reminded me of a case scenario where you are talking about we showcase or we benchmark from other counties.
Yes.
A county like Nakuru, sometimes last year or the other year, we saw them actually trying to model or to implement what we call the ward development or ward equalization bill or act that was giving ward reps some funds or activities to do in their areas, a model or equivalent of that of the CDF. Remember, an MCA ndiye anapatikana asubuhi kila siku mpaka jioni. In his ward, yeye ndiye anaongelea maneno ya kupeleka watu kwa hospitali, matanga, michango ya shule, transport ya kwenda church, hata sadaka. It is the MCA. member of parliament. Yes. And you know, we go through the same process of interview. Yes. Member of parliament anajulikana kwamba yeye ni mtu wa Nairobi. Okay. Na wanajua tu yeye anaweza kuja mara moja in a month. Okay. And there's nobody who questions that. All right? So it is good that we have now been listened to. And the next election, I want to tell you that we will have very, very competitive people who want to occupy offices of ward representatives. Maybe the last question.
Let me add something on what you've asked about the what they've added. It's going to help a lot because, you know, we talk of funds. And from funds, we can get a lot of projects. Yes. And with that, if we have youths who are going to have business names or companies, where are they going to get job? If that money could have not been there, then perhaps you could start a business and it falls because you don't get job. So I will just urge that for that percentage, if they could just take some bunch for, just the same way Moise said it, that if we can take some percentage for youth, some percentage for women, we just allocate it from the above, then that when youths from different counties or from other counties will get what they can earn in terms of businesses, because they are going to get more businesses. Yes. Yeah.
Anything to add, Elisha, before I move to the next question?
Yeah, I think I would also want to say that I support, and it's bringing a lot of opportunities for common wananchi and even the vulnerables. Yes.
Now, Mheshimiwa, in terms of the functions of the Senate, which is, you've just said, to make laws that affect the county. Now, the allocations or the increments have been increased from 15 to 35. But then the power of the senators who oversight have been reduced. How is this going to affect the counties?
You know, even the Senate is not supposed to oversight counties. Okay. If it does, the Senate also is like in a way trying to kill devolution. They have other interests. How is that? I want to say this one, free of charge. Yes. And Kenyans must listen to this one. Yes. The Constitution, Article 226 of the Constitution, Article 226, if I'm not wrong, of the Constitution is very clear. It says, accounting officers of the national government will be accountable to the national parliament. Counting officers of the county government or entity will be accountable to the county assembly. Yes. Article 229, which is also talking about oversight and audit of issues. Yes. It is that the county assemblies are the ones who are supposed to audit or to oversight county assemblies. That is, now the Auditor General's report should actually be discussed in the county assemblies for counties. And for national government, it is the National Senate and the Senate, the National Assembly. Yes. Parliament is supposed to look at the consolidated reports Okay?
Yes.
But if you look at how these guys are behaving currently, I have no problem with them, but because they want to actually whatever to advance their interest, they seem or they want to behave as if county assemblies across the country don't have the capacity to do that.
Okay.
So that one, I want to say I support that provision.
Okay.
They are supposed to actually look at the laws that are going to strengthen the county assemblies in terms of oversight, because county assembly of Migori cannot make laws for county assembly of Kisii, Homa Bay, or Wajir, or Northeastern, whichever county. No, we make laws that are pertaining to our county interests. Now, it is the National Senate that is supposed to make laws that cut across. All right, so that now we can follow. So, for me, the only thing I want to say that the Senate has been denied is that it has been denied a lot of powers in terms of making decisions, whether it's issues to do with national resource, whether it's an issue to do with national the national budget concerning the counties.
Yes.
It should not either emanate or it should not be meant to emanate or originate from the National Assembly.
Yes.
The National Senate should be the one to have the vetoes.
Yes.
The exclusive powers to oversight what is happening in the National Assembly. Because look at the House. Currently, the National Assembly has how many members of parliament? Out of 290 constituencies, we also have others who are nominated by other means. So we are talking about 360 members. Those ones cannot have quality debates on issues to do with counties and also other issues that are cutting across. Let us say the National Assembly being the lower house, because as it is, the National Assembly is going to be the upper house. It's not even the National Senate. The National Assembly being the lower house to originate bills and transmit to the National Senate. That way, on matters to do with county assemblies or county government. But now, if it is not going to play a protective role and a facilitative role to ensure that county assemblies perform well, the efficiency of county assemblies, Felix, determines the efficiency and effectiveness of functioning of the county executive. If county assemblies are not effective, if they are not efficient, if they are not keen on what they are oversighting, if they cannot ask quality questions in relation to the resources that have come to the counties, executive, and the way they are being implemented at the county level, I am telling you, anything can happen anytime and for anybody and at any time and whichever way. But if we have a competitive representatives in that assembly and they are given independency, just like it is proposed in the World Development Fund, and the Senate is properly empowered to make laws that cut across, to oversight, so that we can do complementary engagement. I want to tell you that this model of devolution will be the best so far. Now look at it this way. We have increased the budget from that 15% to that 5%. But if we don't strengthen the process of oversight at the county level, and also we see how they are engaging with the Senate, and we don't also work properly on the laws of corruption and how to turn these people who are now using their own ways to actually take and go, we will not even achieve anything, but we'll have so many millionaires in the Republic of Kenya, both at the county level and at the national level.
Felix, it's because they have been denied the powers, but the powers have been given to the people of the county assembly. And it's them who are there every day. But you know, with the Senate, they implement it up there. So when they bring it down, let the county assembly have the powers. There's no problem.
Alicia, there's a point that we tried to explain, but it never came clear. I just received a message from, in terms of a question from Gilbert Kwach, a youth from Siaya, saying that job employment rate so concurring to the rising population from the census in 1999 to 2009 to 2019, over 10 million is the growth rate, you see. And now, how is the report, just like we said it earlier, the report affecting or going to affect the processes that now the youths are now having the jobs, and then we curb this situation? Because everything here revolves around the youths having the jobs fast. Yes.
Yeah, I think most importantly, as I mentioned, it's important that we have jobs for our young people.
Yes.
And what we've taken as jobs, you know, what you define jobs to be is also very key and important, because it's not, we have people, initially we have agriculture even in secondary schools.
Yes.
And there are people who advance in agriculture.
Yes.
And so I don't think you have to maybe go and sit in an office somewhere to have a job. And so most importantly is, how do we empower them?
Yes.
Just as Mheshimiwa said, so that if you have the ideas and are interested in doing agriculture, how can you do that?
Yes.
When COVID-19 came, I would say that to some extent, we've also learned so much from COVID-19.
Okay.
At the beginning of COVID-19, when schools were closed, you would find young people just walking around and having nothing to do. And we were so much worried as advocates of young people that then we are going to see so much rise in teen pregnancy, the diseases, and even the violences. But then as time went, I think they realized that they were becoming idle. As I walked around within the ward of Rongo and even Rongo constituency as a whole, I started seeing young people engaging in some income generating activities.
Yes.
And I visited one just around Siala area here, and they are doing a lot of brick making. Because there are over 50 people, 5 groups, they are doing brick making, they are doing agriculture, because the question was, Rongo here is a ready market for vegetables, and even things like bananas and all that. You have all the land, but then you are doing nothing on it. And so they sat down and began that. They have lots of breaks, and I was surprised when one of the young people who is a student was saying that I did my sales and right now I have over 52,000 shillings.
Wow.
And so I'll be able to get back to school because my family is not able to take me to school, but right now I have my school fees.
Yes.
They have their vegetables that they sell, and the business ladies here now can access them at better costs when they are also being empowered. And then after doing the breaks, they are now also renovating or reclaiming the lands by doing tree planting. And then they also have seedlings that they are selling. So I think COVID-19 made life difficult for us, but then it also showed us that I think the moment we find difficulties, then we also think of alternatives and options. And so those guys were telling me, most of us here are graduates. Some have done medical things, nutrition, nurses are there, and all those courses.
Yes.
And right now they are kind of engaged. Initially, they were here moving from one point of work to the other. Wanasaka kazi, yenye hawapati. But so, wamekaa, and right now they are doing something that is generating income even more than some of the people who are employed.
In the office, yes.
Because there are people who you can't earn, some don't earn the 50,000 that the young boy was talking about over a short period of time. So I think we need to start thinking smart, and we need to also get it right for our young people.
Yes.
That employment is not only that work at office. Let us request for maybe seed inputs, you know, so that we can do our business and such like. So that instead of Mheshimiwa here just giving handouts, you know, or waiting for the member of parliament to come, akupe kitu kidogo uende utembee naye, then Mheshimiwa can work on maybe getting us the seed inputs, getting us ile tinga ya kuplow, so that then we are able to depend on ourselves. And I think that way, that is more sustained. And I think that way, even before we can talk of having that put into a constitution or what, we will see that change.
So in short, you're trying to say that it should begin from home, from you personally.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Now, in terms of let me say people or the politicians may be giving something to the youth so that at least they can stabilize themselves. We saw Deputy President William Ruto some other time giving wheelbarrows to the youths. Do you think that affected the youths positively? The ones that benefited from the wheelbarrow?
Yeah. You see, before. I also do not believe, the reason as to why I think development is very difficult in Kenya is because we believe on changes that come from up there down to downwards. We need to start thinking of changes coming from down here going up. We need to inform the leaders of what we want. Because, for example, the deputy president doesn't stay here in Rongo, for example, or in Migori. And so it may be very difficult for him to know our challenges if we don't tell them. And so sometimes using systems that are push, you know, let me get a lot of this, let me go and give them, yes, it may incentivize us for now, but then the impact
is it sustainable?
Short term, and it's also maybe not sustainable, as Mheshimiwa is saying.
Yes.
So what we need to do is to do a lot of consultations with the people on the ground, because then the other thing is all the problems that we are having, it is us who create the problems.
Yes.
Nobody bring the problems here. It is us who bring them. And then God has also given us the solutions to those problems.
Okay.
So if we are consulted when the problems are there, you can get very good solutions to those problems from the people on the ground here. But now, we've always assumed that with them, they know nothing. They didn't go to school. Because if you don't have money, then even your voice sometimes is not heard. You know? But if we can give them the opportunity and hear from them, then I'm very sure that we can have the very right. When I visited that team, I got them, and then I was asking how I could support. I was so much impressed with that. Then they were like, what we need now is maybe those bags to do seedlings. We need polythene bags to cover our matafaris and such like. I think getting the polythene bags and even the matafaris and even the small
seedlings,
polythenes for doing the seedlings is good and even more sustainable rather than going and giving maybe 5,000 or even 10,000 Kenya shillings. A polythene bag would cost you 1,000, between 1,000 and 2,000 shillings. But then it would stay for a longer period of time. But then when the money is given, we divide it and it goes like that.
Yes.
So I think it's also all about how we change our ways of operation.
Yes. Mheshimiwa, the Deputy President, in terms, you have something to say?
Yeah, I want to add something.
Okay, fine. Before we come back.
Youths, we have several categories of youths. For example, we have the scholars. We have the Juakali sector. So we need to understand them. With that, we will create business for them or job. There are those who can do white collar job and those who can do the black collar job. So if we think of it like that, then we start with our own counties. Let's walk and see. Like, for example, in Migori County, there was a time they said that on Fridays, they put the African attire. With that, you support the industry of those who are wale ambao wanashona nguo. They get money. So if we can embrace that, even when we put on during cultural weeks, we involve them. We say that if youths can do this, and not just involving them, how can we appreciate them after doing all that, you see? Because you can call the youths for cultural week, they do what they are supposed to do, but if they don't get money out of it all, they don't get motivated. So we need to motivate these youths. For those who are doing kazi ya mkono, we need also to empower them. And I believe that if we can give the people who are doing business opportunity to do in the right way, then they will employ these men or girls, regardless of where they are coming from, so long as they are that county, then they are being given the opportunity. Just for example, they were making these highway roads with the Chinese. But you find that at times those who are working there, they don't belong to that community. They are being picked from somewhere, then they are brought for those who are, just for example. So we should see on how to do it well. Then there is this program called KIOP. They started it some years back, like 2 years, and they only picked 9 counties. We thank God Migori County is one of the counties which were picked to help youths. We can do that for all counties, so that youths can get how to get job. Because with the KIOP, if a youth has been selected, from there they are being paid money per month, and they are being trained on what they can do regardless of your class, whether you dropped at class 2 or you dropped at class 7. If we can have those implementations for the youths, then they are well to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mheshimiwa, maybe before we go, we take a very commercial break, a short one for that matter. We want to talk about the empowerment of the youth, just like Mheshimiwa said, and then also the youth advocate from Migori said that they visited the team and then asked them of what they were lacking, because already they had something established on the ground. Now, you talked about what wanafanya kazi ya mikono, and then we remember the Deputy President, just on the same point, you will just, pardon me, the Deputy President giving wheelbarrows to the people that were doing hand-working jobs. Do you think that was empowerment?
Well, in my opinion, as a development expert,
Yes.
it should be addressing the felt need.
Okay.
It should be a felt need. But the president, your deputy president, looked at an opportunity and he wanted to strike and utilize it and or maximize it.
Okay.
Right? So as a leader, if there are people who are appreciating that effort, then the government has a lot of work to do.
Okay.
It must learn from that particular point. There are people who need those wheelbarrows. There are those who don't need those wheelbarrows. So here the deputy president is actually dealing with his friends.
Okay.
He's dealing with his friends. In this case, if you can't accept the deputy president, how will you get those wheelbarrows?
Yeah. Oh yeah, true.
If you don't have a network that is linking you to the deputy president, he's just an individual. So he's actually doing his own network mobilization.
Okay.
I told you here that there are 3 key or 4 key things that you need as a politician to win a war or to win a campaign or an election.
Okay.
This is his network he's building. So we cannot just discuss that one as a means or a way of empowering the youth. It is not. He's just dealing with his constituency.
Yes.
However, me as Moise and as a leader and as a professional,
Yes.
I don't want to talk about that thing called handouts. I want to talk about sustainable means of empowering our people in the next 50 or 100 years.
Okay.
And the government must also listen to what we are telling them.
Yes.
The president does not engage or interact with the youth on a daily basis. I do. He does. She does. You do. Because we are communicating to him. He has a whole system of youth and women and all sorts of professionals at his disposal. He has the money. He has the national government machineries. Let him make use of that. Let it be in the constitution. Let us discuss this one after 10 years or 20 years when we are reviewing how far we have gone.
Yes.
Let us have enough resources in the Ministry of Youth.
Okay.
Let these people discuss issues at their sub-locational level, not even at the ward level. Felix, I told you this, and I want you to mark it.
Yes.
And let Kenyans also listen about this thing properly. That if you, in your budget making process, you say, let wards, we have 1,450 wards in the entire country. Let each ward be a planning unit for the national government. Each ward. Because we are talking about bringing opportunities closer and closer to the people. Let each ward become a planning unit for the national government, so as is at the county level. And then, if the national government said that we are giving 5% for the youth, now we go deeper at your ward level. Through public participation, we are able to get the needs of those people in that area. We will say, in sublocation X of Ward 1, Timaru East Ward in Kuria East.
Yes.
This number of youths said they want to do farming. This one said they want to do juakali. This one said they want to do tailoring. This one said they want to do A, B, and C. Are you seeing that?
Yes.
So that is what is being funded now down here.
Okay.
As opposed to, I am in Nairobi. I'm thinking about wheelbarrows. I'm thinking about the handcarts.
Yes.
I'm thinking about car wash. How many people, how many vehicles, for example, are in my ward? How many youth do you think are going to benefit from that? They are not going to benefit. But if you talk about agriculture,
yes,
you'll get so many agriculture-based minds in that particular ward. If you want to talk about tailoring, you get so many women. If it's about hairdressing, something like that.
Yes.
If you want to talk about journalism, for example, utawapata vijana pale watasema we want to start our own studio here. We report issues about our ward. We want to start a means of engaging so that we can actually hold our people accountable. Are you seeing what I'm talking about?
Yes.
If you go to developed countries, for example, America, they have what you call innovation hubs. Those innovation hubs, they are in each and every unit. Okay? In every corner you go, in every town, you get them showcasing their ideas. And the government is listening to them. It is giving them volunteers who are going to help them also develop their ideas into better use.
Yes.
And the government is using those particular ideas to plan for for its people. The same case to Israel, which I was talking about, I visited. I saw them. There are several of them. And for your information, we can do much better as Kenyans because we have very aggressive nation. You are talking about the growth of population,
yes,
not matching the number of job opportunities that the government is creating.
Okay.
The government of Kenya is not keen on what the local man is saying. It is only keen on what politicians are saying.
Okay.
The government of Kenya is only listening to Mise, who is a politician, and they are now planning how can I catch the interest of this guy so that he can be in front to champion for my interest, then I win.
Yes.
They are forgetting about what we are leaving behind. The common man who does not have a platform actually to air his views. So in my opinion, my brother, let us not discuss issues about the deputy president because he's living his own life.
Okay.
He is actually making his own friends.
Yes.
So as my madam here is going to make her own networks for the next campaigns,
yes,
I'm also making my own networks.
Yes.
So I cannot discuss that model. I want to discuss models that are going to be put in the constitution.
Yes.
And so that we can see our people discussing development in the next 50 years.
Thank you very much.
And Felix, if I can add something, just as the same way we've been having several seminars, why can't we have seminars for youths on how they can do their own things? We give them that self of belonging because it's them who are supposed to be employed. If we can do it as a per ward level, just as the same Mwashimiwa have said, it could be better because it's them who know what they want. You know, you can't just give somebody, like for example, you wake up and you give Zilpa, today I want to give you a motorbike. Perhaps I don't know even how to ride a motorbike. I might end up selling it. With that, it will not help me for the future use. You see?
Yes.
But if we can have them and tell us per wards, and we go per counties, and we know what they really need, then we will address this issue of job for all youths.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This is marking the end of the second hour of this wonderful debate. But I promise you that when we're going to come back, oh my goodness, we're going to hit the nail on the head because we're going to talk about matters about all inclusivity, the winner takes it all issue that has always been hitting the heads of the media, and also the election of the prime minister by the winning team, and also the official opposition leader, and whether their names are going to appear on the ballot. Just taking a short commercial break, but when we come back, it will be hotter than the hot seat.
And here we will be giving you what you've been missing in the entertainment industry.
We will be hosting different guests, upcoming artists, as well as your favorite entertainers.
To motivate you, the youth, we will be bringing you youthful entrepreneurs who have made it in life.
Politically, you are in the right place. We will be bringing you the already established politicians. And to upcoming politicians, this is where your political career will be nurtured. Live only on LTV Kenya, the home of the best.
Indeed, LTV Kenya is home of the best.
And here we are with Let's Confuse Them.
Home of the best.
Juzi mjuzi kala mchuzi wa mjusi.
Juzi mjuzi kuna mchuzi wa kijusi.
666 sheep is sick.
666 sheep is sick.
666 sheep chipa. Kale kakuku kadogo kakako.
Kale kakuku kadogo kakako wapi kaka?
I saw a kitten in the kitchen eating chicken.
I saw a kitten eating the kitchen in the kitchen.
Give Papa proper coffee in a proper coffee cup.
Give Papa coffee Kipi kikusikitishacho? Twende.
Kipi kichechacho?
Kipi kikusikitishacho?
Ikibidi ngudipacho.
Umepewa honeymoon 3.
Yeah.
Utafanyia nini?
Nitakula tu.
Utakula. Francis Atuoli ni governor wa county gani?
Francis Atuoli?
Kiambu ama Busia.
is believed that this is a topic that has always led to wars in each and every election. We saw it in 2007, we saw it in also 2017. But then the BBI is trying to make us believe that this, finally, they have gotten the solution towards this. Thank you very much once again for joining us. This is LTV Kenya. Remember, I told you earlier that you can send your views and even messages in our Facebook page, that is LTV Kenya. Now, back to you, starting from Mheshimiwa. The report indicates that after elections, the party that is winning will elect or appoint the Prime Minister. And then we will also have 2 deputies who happen to come from the same team, if I'm not wrong. Now, how is this going to solve the issue of the winner takes it all?
In my opinion,
yes,
and as a serving legislator, I don't think that is a solution.
Okay.
It is just nothing. It is exactly what we are having now. And I will simply tell you, the only thing that they are bringing on board is the official opposition leader in parliament.
Yes.
They felt that these guys, if you look at the current constitution, if you contested for presidency, you will not contest for any other position.
True.
The previous constitution, you could contest for presidency as well as member of parliament.
Yes.
So that now if you lose, you land into parliament, and so you become the official opposition leader. All right? Now currently, if you look at the new proposal, they are eliminating the position of the majority leader, the deputy majority leader, and they are bringing on board, it is change of titles. So the majority leader now has become the Prime Minister.
Yes.
The deputy majority leader has become deputy prime minister 1 and 2, maybe for the whip.
Yes.
And they're going to sit in parliament. These are members of parliament already. Okay?
Yes.
So, when we are electing a member of a deputy, a majority leader, it is the guy who will get the majority in the house.
Yes.
And is serving the interest of the government in the house.
Yes.
So, nothing new is coming on board.
Okay.
The only thing that we're talking about here is giving a salary to the loser who became number 2 at the presidential election. Now he's coming on board into the parliament with a budget. But my question is, why should you tell me, if the budget, if the cabinet, the shadow cabinet that the official opposition leader is going to constitute, is going to serve at no cost, then it's okay, so that we can have someone officially attached to the to oversight. That is means like a chair of committee X, say the education committee.
Okay.
We have a chair who will be elected by members, but the official opposition leader will also sit down and say, just like the president has appointed cabinet secretary or minister for education, I want to also appoint one for in charge of to check on the Minister for Education and report officially on matters of loopholes and challenges that particular ministry is facing. However, let me ask it this way. We are talking about inclusivity. Unless inclusivity is adopting a different term, which is not the literal term that we know. Inclusivity, in my opinion, means the 43 tribes in the Republic of Kenya brought on the table and they are forming the government, whether you support it or not support.
Okay.
Or we are talking about equitable distribution of resources as provided for in Article 27 of the Constitution. Or we are talking about people's views collected, input in the planning of the national government, so that going forward, nobody is talking about if a president comes from our community, we will have the following infrastructure development, the following projects, we'll get jobs, as it is evidenced in the current government. I'm not opposing my government.
Okay.
I am not opposing my government.
Okay.
I am only saying what the people on the ground are saying.
Yes.
I am only saying that if the government is seriously talking about inclusivity, let us say, can we have that commission that is looking at how many people from tribe A, B, C, D are employed in that particular sector. So that now we say, overhaul this by ratios.
Yes.
If your population is 5 million and Kuria community, which is say 300,000, we get in ratios and say, distribute this by ratios. If it's 1%, let us go to this department and get 1% of the smallest community and 10% from the biggest community. If that can be put into the constitution or in this report, and we don't talk about now positions being shared by senior people, the constitution to cater for that. Whether a leader from a smaller community like mine becomes the president, I will not even be dictated by the numbers. I'll be dictated by what or the factors that have been put into the constitution of Kenya. That every Kenyan is entitled or is tasked to protect and defend.
Yes. Thank you. Elisha, do you think that the report is majorly to benefit the let me say the people that are very big in political arena, and then it's like now they have forgotten about the common mwananchi? How is it?
I think I would want to be very brief in that. In my opinion, I would say I'm not seeing any change. And this may not benefit the local people.
Mheshimiwa, are we going back to before the constitution in 2010?
Let me start with the question you've asked.
Yes.
Okay, as per me, for the sake of peace, I think it's a good idea. Though with the wrong name. They could have said for the sake of peace thereafter. Because if we check on the post-election violence, I think it always comes from the opposition. And with that, if we see how to settle them, with that, government will have peace. And with peace, we can detect some growth of development. And just as you've seen that we've lost some of our loved ones, we've lost our parents, our husbands, all those, just because of the post-election violence. And with that, it's going to help a lot. I don't think if it's bad, but we can add some. Just for example, he has said that if they can just be there not being paid, but we elect or we involve all the 43, we involve the 43 tribes. That one will also be good. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Mheshimiwa, back to you. Before the report was launched, I believe it was some times back, I think last year, the task force was sent outside so that at least it collect views from each and every individual on issues concerning the changes that they would need. Did it reach let me say, the leaders, or was it just for the wananchi? Because a lot of issues that we speak about right now are the ones that are really important, but then they lack in the report that was launched by the president and the former prime minister. Did you get time to maybe share views or share these ideas with the members that were elected to ride the process?
I will even tell you. Currently, as we speak, there is a team that is retreating in Naivasha.
Yes.
And they're trying to harmonize the report.
Yes.
I've seen a draft of the timetable.
Yes.
That between this month and next month, they are going to do this. Within this period, and this period is going to be popularization and so forth and so forth.
Yes.
How many people from Migori, for example, or from Kuria are involved or participating in that retreat?
Yes.
That is why I'm telling you, this BBI is ours.
Yes.
Politicians. Me. The us and above. But the us and below, we have an issue. And I'm telling you, because I have asked my people. Guys, when we were discussing, I like engaging with even today I had a very big meeting in my ward.
Yes.
With people. Actually, the very first group of people who participated today in that meeting are women.
Yes.
I even asked them, kwani nyinyi mbona mmekuja mapema, mjienda shambani? By around 9 they were there. Wananiambia pana sasa iko maneno mna hii. So we discussed. One of the questions that one of the women asked me is, na hii BBI mnasema tumesikia, tuletea mbegu ya kupanda. Kwa sababu mbegu sahihi tunaenda kununua ni fake.
Okay.
Unaenda unapanda unakuta imefika hapa imekuwa mbaya. Kwa Kikuyu wanasema imechura, imekuwa wazimu. Yeah, it is. I don't know what it. Igani imekuwa wazimu tu.
Okay.
We are talking about agriculture. This is a woman asking you about agriculture. The question that we should be discussing, and even the BBI task force did not address, is they only assumed that people who can give them ideas are people who always can have a platform and articulate issues and say, if we don't listen from Moise, then we have not listened to anybody. Why didn't they say we are forming a network of people? So can we have all the chiefs through the Minister of Interior? Can we have all the chiefs who play a particular form through their barazas? They ask their people, can you people say ABC what you want to be put into the BBI? So within a week, because the chiefs always report to the DOs, and the DOs also report to the DCs, the DCs report to the county commissioner, and that is transmitted to the PS, and the PS collects that view and stakes to the task force. And the task force now, with the secretariat which is task force, say we have desks put across, say in terms of say districts or which now currently they are called sub-counties. They sieve them or they design a particular format, okay, which now says this one, if you key this one, it is code X. If you key code A, it talks about water. If you key code C, it talks about agriculture. So that at the end of the day, they generate and come up with a one report, comprehensive, that is addressing issues to do with the common man. So that now, by the end of the day, madam, we are not talking about political positions of women at the Senate and Parliament, but we are also talking about women who don't have water, women who don't have, who are not even educated, but they have a family to raise. We are talking about widows. We are talking about orphans. We are talking about unemployed youth. You have talked about a population that has actually grown so fast and it has outmatched the number of job opportunities that the government is creating. People would have come up with issues. Even the issues that my friend here was addressing, was telling us about innovations in his village. All right? They should have come on board so that now the government can use that one in planning. Some of the issues may not even have to be put in the constitution. They are actually administrative issues, but the government would have captured them into that. So in my opinion, the BBI team only did what they used to be, they could do as per the instructions they were given. The specific instructions here are, let us have the leader of opposition back, let us have the titles changed. And let me tell you, those who are saying that the president is going to become the prime minister, they are dreaming. They cannot, he cannot. You know what it means? I give you an example of a county where the governor is the head of the government, is elected. Then after 2022, for example, in Migori here, Governor Bado, he has done his 2 terms. So he's not eligible for another term. Constitutionally. So I end a vie for MCA, then akuja kwe prime minister in the county assembly. Akuja kwe majority leader. And the tradition as is the prime minister. Can that one happen?
No, it can't.
Can the president now go back to Gatundu South and Moses Kuria so that he becomes the member of parliament for Gatundu South? Then now he becomes the prime minister. It may not work. Practically it cannot, and that is the meaning. That is the meaning.
But you see, the prime minister is going to be elected by the member of the assembly.
Now, majority leader is also elected by members of the county assembly or national assembly.
So it's just the same thing but different names. Wow. Now, do you think that, or do you still feel that the BBI report still lacks a lot that should be done?
A lot, yes. A lot. And that's why we are saying, if they can give us another chance, and they adopt the model that I have said, so that you just, you know, there's a way, I don't know what the technologists, the IT guys are calling this thing that I'm talking about, because I'm not good in that. They call it, you design a format, a system, and that system, it is coded. 1 to maybe 1,000 or even 2,000.
Yes.
So it is endless. But you see, if you kill one here, my brother Felix,
yes.
it is causing some issue. If you kill two, it is causing some issue.
Yes.
All the way up to down.
Yes.
The IT guys, and Matiang is told is the best in that. He can design or this the Musheru. Yeah. The ICT CS.
Yes.
They can just employ their guys. So that now they come up with that. So for me, they send that one to the chiefs. So that they reach us down here.
Yes.
That can be done within a period of 1 or 2 months.
Okay.
Then there is no hurry in this.
Yes.
So that by the end of June next year, we have a new BBI, we have a new constitution that is well inclusive and that is addressing, so that when the president leaves, when he exits from office, he will now have created good job, a lot of work for the next president.
Thank you. Do you believe that the deputy president, as well as the former vice president Musalia Mudavadi, are right when they say that this is not building bridges initiative, rather it is breaking bridges initiative?
Well, I want to say this. It is not so.
Yes.
You know, these guys, they have access to the president.
Yes.
They have access to the prime minister.
Yes.
These are friends.
Yes.
You saw during the launch of the BBI the way these guys were engaging each other.
Okay.
That told me a lot.
Yes.
The body language, as Madam is saying.
Yes.
Let me tell you.
Yes.
Musalia Mudavadi, the deputy president, the former vice president Musalia Mudavadi, the deputy president Honorable William Ruto, the former prime minister, our Baba, and the current president. These people talk on a daily basis. They make simple phone calls.
Yes.
They should have actually gone back to these guys or call them, the BBI team, or summon them. The deputy president simply would have called them into his office.
Yes.
Guys, come here. This is what I want you to put here. So that we don't struggle so much to waste our public resources.
Yes.
Right now we are talking about hunger and poverty, poor economy, the COVID issues, corruption is everywhere.
Yes.
So we should be talking about things that can be solved in the shortest time possible and the cheapest way possible, so that we have a sustainable solution. Taking leadership and responsibility. But now, if you are in office, and you are criticizing what your office has designed, and you are an assistant, a principal assistant to the president. If I'm assistant, let me give you an example. I'm a member of the speaker's panel in Migori County Assembly. If my speaker is about to make a decision or is actually proposing a particular plan, and he has called me, he has briefed me the same way the president said during the launch of this BBI in the Bomas the other day, that even the deputy president proposed some names to the task force team. So at that time, that means the people that he proposed there have some allegiance, or they listen to him. You would have said, guys, sit, come, let's put it this way. Are you seeing that? They would have listened. And he is a leader as well. He is our leader. So my proposal to them, or my advice is this. Consultation is the best tool to making a conclusive and inclusive and objective and progressive consultation. Constitution can't be made in isolation. It cannot be made by one team. It is not a constitution of President Uhuru Kenyatta and the former Prime Minister. It is the constitution of all Kenyans. And because they have the opportunity to reach to those guys, let them even do it now. Some of us, we cannot reach them. I was the chief campaigner of Jubilee in Korea. That time I could talk to people who are very close to the president. Right now I cannot. I cannot. It is true. But him he can talk.
Before Mheshimiwa you speak, Elisha, just to add some light to what Mheshimiwa Mwise has just said.
I think what I wanted to say is consultations are very key, and To some extent, I'm liking how the team that are coming up with BBI have acted. The moment BBI was brought to the general population, there were lots of comments and a lot of critics.
Yes.
And I really would want to thank the team that is leading this process, because after all those, they decided to go back to the drawing board. And I'm very much sure that right now, as they are sitting, they are doing more of consultations, and they're trying to even make it better.
Yes.
So I think I would want to support what Mheshimiwa here is saying, that most importantly is to get it from the people down here.
Yes.
Because we are completely living in different worlds. Yes, all of us are in Kenya. But then the life that I live here and the life that the people who are right now making decisions for us are clearly bringing, making the difference even bigger.
Yes.
The richer are continuing to get rich, while the poor are continuing to languish in poverty.
Actually, remember what Mheshimiwa Jagwa said in one of his songs. Just continue.
So then there will be no middle ground. We will just keep moving, because then, if just like we are talking of inclusivity, and where we are talking about the vulnerable population, then even in such decisions, we need to hear from the voiceless, the people who are lowest in the community, because their needs are totally different from what that other team needs. Maybe the need for these teams as in nataka ndege, I need 5,000 acres of land and such like. Lakini saa zingine huyu mtu wako chini, the need, hata saa zingine ana penya anaweza weka nyumba yake. You know, anataka kufanya farming, but then there is no piece of land to do that. So they need to also hear from them, so that then we have a document that is all inclusive.
Thank you very much.
I would wish that wenye wako sahi na Ivasha, they are consulting and even consulting.
Mheshimiwa, just very brief, and then I ask you some question that is disturbing the minds of the citizens of Migori County. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Felix. You know, the Mwananchi are the mirror.
Yes.
Yeah, so for the BBI, it's them who is going to give the right direction. And as we started, we said that they should be given time to read, and they should be given time to give their own views. You know, from their own views, the team from the BBI will know where to add what and where to deduct what. Because they can learn from the Mwananchi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rumors have it that Mheshimiwa, you are going to, your name is going to appear in the ballot for Women's Senate in Migori County. Is it true?
Okay, Felix, me as Zilpa Odlin Ochuodo, I've been into that position, and I've been trying to be into that position. And now that the women representative position have been, they've done away with it, I'll see if I'll be in the Senate position for women leadership.
So you're still not sure?
I'm so sure with that.
Okay.
Let me just assure it now.
You're still consulting?
Come 2022, I'll be there for Senate seat, because it's a new seat there. Everybody is going to vie for those who are interested. But for me, I've shown the interest, and I've been into the ballot.
What is your parting shot now? The last thing that you can tell Kenyans now.
Okay, my parting shot is, let us as country, and as I speak to people from Migori County, let us embrace each other. As women, I'm talking to women from Migori County. We want to be example for other counties. Let us come together and work together as women, because so many women are vulnerable and their voices cannot be heard. But through us, we can put their voice to be heard. And for the country, I'll urge the BBI team to take note on what the Wananchi are going to give them, so that we can change on whichever part they can. Thank you very much, Felix.
Thank you very much.
I think my parting shot would be to Wananchi, fellow Kenyans, that Kenya belongs to all of us, and it is our responsibility to ensure that we bring the change that we want to see for Kenya. I don't think it would be right for us to sit back and keep crying all along, oh, wamefanya hii, oh, wamefanya hiyo, tunataka hii, and all that. I would want that to begin from ourselves. And so I want to say that I know there are a lot of processes that are ongoing, but I think I know, as I mentioned, there are the two extremities. We have the rich and we have the poor, and the gap is moving even further. And in these different groups, particularly from the team in the reach, maybe a few of them
Yes.
would want to close the gap.
Yes.
So if you are in the team that is maybe not doing very well like myself, I want to assure you that we need to fight for our position.
Yes.
And so it is not all about, crying all along, but then I'm urging all of us to work together so that we see the change that we want to see. It may take us time, but I think right now it should not take us long, because then if we just mention them and then do not act,
yes,
then we will not see that change forever. But right now, we need to start taking some actions. I'm very happy we have the county government, and as I mentioned, if we can't change the whole nation, then can we even change a ward?
Okay.
So that people start seeing that light from that particular ward.
Thank you.
And then from that ward, then we will be able to have this light move to the different wards, to a county, to the different counties, and then we'll have it in Kenya. I have happened to visit Rwanda as a state, and the example I usually give is that Kigali, that is the capital city of Rwanda, is more than clean. It's cleaner than my compound at home, cleaner than my compound, and it's a capital city like Nairobi. That is a behavior that someone took an initiative of instilling in others, and then they've owned it, and right now they have maintained it. I'm very sure that we can begin small and change the entire nation.
Thank you very much. Mheshimiwa.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you guys for the opportunity. I also want to thank my voters, Timaru East members,
Yes.
so that because they gave me the job that I'm doing.
Yes.
I want to also say this. My brother here has said that we need to change at least a small area so that other people can see. I want to confidently tell you that I have crisscrossed this country. Migori County, you have seen even reports coming in and out,
Yes.
ranking counties.
Yes.
Migori County is doing much better in this region,
Yes.
much better and way better than most of the counties here.
Yes.
Remember, Migori County was a rural county.
Yes.
Very poor. From the start, it was very poor. Very poor. Where we are, we can actually talk among the big boys. You cannot compare the performance of Migori County and that of Machakos.
Yeah.
Machakos was almost a city. Even Kisii here, they never built even a single building. Because Kisii was originally, naturally, a regional hub for everything, right? You cannot compare Migori County at the start with Homa Bay. Homa Bay was, I used to hear about Homa Bay long time ago. Koreans used to go to Homa Bay to get services from there. But can you compare now Homa Bay and Migori County?
No, you can't.
Homa Bay is actually trailing way behind there. It is true. Besides the challenges that our leadership has been going through, I'm not campaigning for my governor, but I'm only telling you guys that we are working.
Yes.
As a member of County Assembly of Migori, Migori County Assembly is the best county in terms of quality of debates, quality of policies, quality of motions, and quality of engagement that we are making in Migori County here. So we have had several delegations coming to visit us here.
True.
And one thing that I want to say, I want to advise my people who are doing PR for Migori County,
Yes.
especially the Department of Communications. They are letting us down. They should have actually aired these things. They should have actually made a very good showcasing program where people are actually getting more of what we are doing in Migori here. We have had several county assemblies coming to benchmark in Migori.
Yes, true.
But we have only gone out, I think, twice to go and benchmark somewhere of other issues. But Migori has been receiving delegations and delegations each year and each session.
Okay.
We are on session. So, however,
Yes.
I want also to say this with regard to the BBI issues. Number one, I want to ask my deputy president to walk across from Annex to Harambee House.
Yes.
It is called Harambee House, where the president sits.
Yes.
From Harambee Annex to Harambee House, and tell my president, who is my party leader, that let him also consider the marginalized communities like Korea,
Yes.
so that we can get a special consideration. And I want to ask Baba also and advise him that, you know, if Nyanza, we have 6 counties.
Yes.
My friends, you must forgive me on this. If Nyanza, we have 6 counties, and on average, you're getting 6 billion per county. That is 6 times 6 is 36. Suppose we get another extra county, because you see the BBI is talking about making Nairobi a unique county,
yes,
which is being managed even by the national government.
Yes.
So that opportunity that is being created there, we should bring it to Kuria here. Baba should lobby and help us to have it here, so that now 6 times 7 is 42 instead of 6 times 6, which is 36 billion.
Wow.
Are you seeing my point?
Yes.
Finally, sir, I want also to talk to my president, because when he came to my area when I was campaigning for him, this is what he told my people for him to get the votes. You know, in Kuria we gave him about 50-something% of the votes, actually 62% of the total votes. So he said this: today I am here, I am giving you 2 sub-counties, so that you are 4. And 4 is an equivalent of Kwale.
Yes.
And now our population is more than Kwale County.
Yes.
And now we have, and he said, when the right time comes, when you are changing the constitution, you will count on my support. This is the right time. He has to pay back the debt that he actually requested and promised us to give him votes, and so he will consider us. This is the right time. As a leader of the people of Kuria, this is what I'm talking about, is truly what they need. And I request Baba, because in 2022, I am simply thinking about supporting him. And because I'm going to support Baba, thinking about that, Baba now also consult with his brother, because they are twins.
Yes.
They are twins. Let him consult with his twin brother, so that now they can also make Kuria a focused area of giving us a special county. If you are given a special county, my brother, you simply cross there, do business. I cross here, we do business, because our revenue has doubled from 6 billion to 12 billion.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, that was one of the best debates that we've ever had. At least I've come out away from this group with something that consultation solves a lot of things. Remember, this is LTV Kenya and the LTV fraternity. We want the best for you. That is why our motto is the home of the best. Now, today, or this particular hour, marks the end of this wonderful debate that we were having, which was dubbed the way after the launch, or maybe what next, or the map to referendum. Till next time, remember, this place that we are in is Staro's Executive Apartments. If you want a place to enjoy the coolest place ever, then you just hit on that particular location there, and then you will be directed to this wonderful thing. Till next time, same place, same time, I'm your host, Felix Omondi. Goodbye.
And here we will be giving you what you've been missing in the entertainment industry.
We will be hosting different guests, upcoming artists, as well as your favorite entertainers.
To motivate you, the youth, we will be bringing you youthful entrepreneurs who have made it in life.
Politically, you are in the right place. We will be bringing you the already established politicians. And to upcoming politicians, this is where your political career will be nurtured. Live only on LTV Kenya, the home of the best.
Indeed, LTV Kenya is home of the best.